Hola, Calis. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Super Cali Land. I'm just going to do a quick sound check and then we'll be getting right into all things Disneyland Resort, you guys. This is a little loose, so the world is falling for you guys. Let me just see if I can get it to sit still. No. Okay, sound working? Sound's working. Image is tilting. Let's see if I can get it to behave. It was sitting here for the last 30 minutes and now it doesn't want to sit still. Sorry guys, technical live video stuff. It's generally not moving. It's a little crooked, but I'm going to take it and start this video. Hi, Courtney Stevens. Welcome to Super Cali Land. We are going to be talking about all things Disneyland Resort. I have now been back to Disneyland, Disney California Adventure, and the opening day of Avengers Campus. There's so much to talk about. I'm sure you're seeing all the videos. If this is something that you're interested in or you're researching, maybe you're planning to go to Avengers Campus with your family. Maybe you just really want to get back to Disneyland. I know I have a lot of Disney mom friends that are like, I have my dates, I can't wait, I'm so excited. So there's a lot to talk about. A quick disclaimer, you guys, everything I talk about today, as far as I know, is the case and the rules for Disneyland Resort up to this day. But if you know anything about Disneyland Resort over the past year and a half, things can change by the hour. Literally during the day, the opening day of Avengers Campus, things were changing as the day went on. And I'm sure they were ready for the demand to be really high, but I don't think anything could have prepared them for how insane the crowds are for this particular land. So, yeah, there's a lot to share. And thanks for coming, Courtney, and hopefully other people find this. I hope this time works for you. Hey, Decky, I'm live and I can hear you, so you're going to have to hang up that call, baby doll. My kids are here. They're still doing Zoom classes. They have one last week of school. Raleigh, do you want to come say hi?
Hi, y'all.
That's my daughter, Raleigh. She's 5. Okay, so before we get into Disneyland Resort, I just have a couple quick pieces of business. Oh, wait, Jesse, did you turn off the TV? That was my, whatever. Okay, no worries. Okay, so, and good news, this live video is working on the desktop. The last couple weeks, the desktop, I don't know if it was like the communication between the app live and the desktop. You guys couldn't watch on your desktop, so I'm so glad that is back. Trying not to be annoyed that this is totally crooked today. Okay. Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna go insane over this framing. I'm a little neurotic about the image quality, so, and sound quality. There's so many things that I won't bore you with. Okay, so, really quick, I do a shout out every week, and this week I want to give a big shout out to the insiders on YouTube. Maybe you know them as the Disney Insiders. They're a family of vloggers. It's so cool to watch them in action because 3 kids, a mom and dad, and they have such a good energy, and it's so fun to watch them collaborate as a family. They do a lot of live streams, I believe, on Facebook. I know them through YouTube, and they happened to be there on Friday at the opening day of Avengers Campus. They were so positive, so energetic. I was watching a little bit of their live video, and it was so cool to see them collaborating as a family. You could see their dad filming them, and just like their hustle and their excitement was just contagious. So I really love these YouTubers. It's at the Insiders. I put a little link in the description box if you guys want to check them out. Every week, for those of you that are new, every week I try to do a shout out of a channel on YouTube that I think is super Cali. I cover all things California, but and lately a lot of Disney because they're kind of just, there's so much to talk about as a Disney fan. So There is going to be more like California content in the pipeline. We have lots of fun things happening. We went back to the movie theaters for the first time, and I did a vlog about that. We went back to Chuck E. Cheese for the first time with my mom. Both of those were the Gaga up at in the Central Coast of California. So those vlogs are in the pipeline. I still have more Epcot content from our family trip to Walt Disney World. So lots of stuff coming for you guys that is super Cali, not just Disney, but Disney. There's a lot happening, and I'm a big Disney fan, so there's a lot to talk about. So anyways, every week I give a shout out because, again, I'm just one mom, one woman doing this as my side hustle. Actually, lately it's like kind of a full-time hustle, and I have so much fun bringing you guys California content, but I can't cover it all, so I do like to highlight other vloggers that I think just have great California-centric content. So this week since I'm focusing on Disney, I wanted to give a shout out to the insiders because they cover all things Disneyland Resort, and they're so much fun to watch, you guys. So it's two brothers and a sister, and then you can see their parents are like behind the scenes, like in complete support of their channel. And I love watching a family like do something creative together. I think that's really cool. Hey Declan, I still hear you. So you're gonna have to hang up that call. I'm not joking around about that. I have a lot to talk about today, and I don't want to have to derail this. Okay, so that's my son Declan. He's in the background on a call. Declan, I'm not joking around. I can hear you and your friend. You gotta hang it up. I told it was so quiet. You guys, the hour leading up to this video, it was so quiet, and inevitably there's going to be interruptions. My kids are home, like I said, doing Zoom classes, so I try my best to tell everyone, hey, this is the 1 hour once a week that I gotta talk to all the Calis out there, so hopefully they listen, but so far it's a little dicey. So I apologize for interruptions. I'm a mom, what can I say? My life is constantly in a state of, if you're a parent, it's like, forget it. Some me time doesn't exist. That's not a thing. Okay, so I feel like there was something else. Oh, Thursday. Okay, so this is killing me, you guys, but I have this really fun vlog of opening day of Avengers Campus. I have been working really hard on that vlog. I was going to post it last night, but then, I was like, I want to stick to my schedule. So I post a new live premiere, like my main vlog of the week, every Thursday at 9 a.m. So I am going to post the full Avengers Campus Opening Day vlog on Thursday morning at 9. I hope you're available and you can watch and chat with me. This vlog, it makes me emotional to watch the playback. It was just such a unique experience. It was actually my first time going to a Disney parks opening of a new land. So a lot was happening very quickly. I was there with my cousin Nikki. We got blessed big time. We got a very early boarding time. We were boarding group 17 to get onto WEB Slingers. So it all kind of happened really fast. I had a lot of sound issues. So this vlog presented a lot of challenges making it, but now that I've made it, it is one of my favorite of the last year. It is just, it's so epic. And even though I know a lot of people have already posted their experience, just to be there on opening day, everyone had their own unique experience of that day. That'll never happen again. So I am really excited to share that with you guys, and that will be Thursday at 9. So I hope you can join me. And then, and then I made a little note here. I'm like, everything in that vlog is unique to that day. So things that we were experiencing that day no longer apply. And I put little notes in the video just to cue you guys. But for example, we got a mobile order. We got one of the last mobile orders for a drink at Pim Test Kitchen for 8:45 p.m. So we were that day, they were allowing people to re-enter if they had a mobile order. That is no longer the case. After just one day, the Disney parks, cast members and people like kind of in charge of the flow, they right away figured out that people were filling up the mobile orders by like 8 a.m. Like they go live at 7, and then by 9, like all the mobile orders for the land were filled for the day. So they realized that people were using it as a hack to get into the park. So that's not allowed anymore. So just a heads up that our experience that day is unique to that opening day. And then today what I'm going to talk about is everything I know up to this point about getting food in the land, all things going back to Disneyland Resort. Is getting opened up for Disneyland Resort is opening up to out-of-state guests June 15th, which is like right around the corner. So I'll be just covering all things Disneyland Resort and tips and tricks. And I hope you guys enjoy this. And again, for anybody watching the playback, because I feel like most of my viewers usually are people that are watching the playback, I will put timestamps so you can very easily, like if you're like, how do I get on WEB Slingers? By the way, you may not. So, but there are tips about that. So, you know, if you want to go right to the WEB Slingers section, you can tap on that timestamp. Okay, so we have a troll in the house. I wish I could I need a little button to play like the troll song. Duckley, could you pull up the troll song and just every time someone comes in, we can just we could just play it. That would be so fun. Anyways, so what was I gonna say? That's a good sign. That means this video is getting pushed out. So I hope that everybody, trolls are a good sign for me because I've been on YouTube since 2009. And whenever you start to get that, wait a minute. I'm just gonna see if I can kick them out or I can put them in a timeout. Anyways, so anytime you start to get trolls, that means like a lot of people are seeing the thumbnail. So good job, YouTube algorithm. Keep pushing it out. I hope to find people that are, you know, planning their Disneyland Resort trip or want to know the latest of what's happening at Disney parks, or maybe you just want to come and hang out and chat in Super Cali Land. You're always welcome. So again, let's get into this. I think I've covered all of my just little notes and stuff. Oh, and just a note to anyone that's new to my channel, there's a lot of new subscribers. Thank you. I see you. I really appreciate you taking a chance on a smaller channel. And I just want to let you guys know that while I cover a lot of Disney content, a lot of Disney parks stuff is coming in the pipeline just because we just had a family trip to Walt Disney World. I finally got to go back to Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. I do a lot of other content. I will have some type 1 diabetes content and gluten-free content for the people that found me through my daughter, because my daughter does have type 1 diabetes and celiac disease. So I'm always using this channel. Well, not always. I say like once a month, once every other month. I like to use this channel as a way to spread awareness about the diseases that she lives with, just because it's the least I can do as her mom. And I know there's other people out there that really appreciate that or want to learn about it. So I'd say like once a month, once every other month, I do that content. I have not forgotten about it. I just want to tell everyone that's been here a little bit longer. And then also, I mentioned earlier that there are a few new vlogs in the pipeline. California is opening up. We went back to the movie theaters for the first time in Santa Maria, California. We went back to Chuck E. Cheese for the first time. And I did shoot those vlogs, and I hope to get them out to you in the weeks ahead. I post a new Super Cali vlog, long format, like full vlog every Thursday at 9. I do it as a live premiere so we can chat and talk about what it is that we're experiencing, maybe a little more like tips about the place that we went, a little more inside information. I love those live chats. So that's every Thursday at 9 a.m. And then every day I do post a video. Usually it's a short, just because I don't want to take on more than I can handle as a stay-at-home mom and a vlogger. So I do like to get you guys some sort of content every day, but that is how I utilize the shorts. And then I am live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So for those of you that are new, that's my schedule. That will be my schedule for the foreseeable future. And I always post updates on the community tab. I don't know if any of you have found this community tab, because I don't see a lot of engagement there, But that way, for any of you that are like, I really don't know what happened to this week's vlog, did you make it? Like, you can go to the community tab. I try to keep you guys updated, like when I'm editing, when I'm going places. It's my place to kind of post announcements. So if you're like, okay, I really need to know, when this week's live video is happening or what it's about, try to get over to that community tab. On the cell phone, I think you have to go to the channel page and then press community. And then on the desktop, oh goodness, on the desktop, I don't know. Is there a community tab? That's a really good question, actually. I think you also go to the channel page and then click on community. So hopefully you're able to find those posts. I know that that way it works now. People kind of just watch on their cell phone and whatever pops up, it pops up. So good luck, you guys out there, finding the content that you're looking for. Okay, so Disneyland Resort is opening up to out-of-state guests on June 15th. That is right around the corner. And then again, I have this disclaimer here. Disneyland Resort rules are constantly changing. Even if you talk to some of the Disney cast members in the plaid shirts, they're the most knowledgeable of like up to the date information. On occasion, I've asked them about parking fees or this or that, and they have said, hey, we only find out day of too. So the Disney parks really keep everything under wraps, and then day of, it gets out. And that's why I think it kind of creates a need for all these Disney vloggers. I follow all of them too, to just try to stay on top of like what's happening at the Disney parks this hour. And there's a lot happening with this opening of Avengers Campus and it opening to out-of-state residents. So the first thing I want to talk about, because the first thing that happens for any Disney guest, unless you're checking into a hotel, that would be your first thing, of course. But for those of us either driving or if you're walking into the parks for the first time from a hotel, the first thing is which entrance, you guys. Which entrance do you go in? Do you go on the Harbor Boulevard side, on the east entrance? If you guys aren't familiar, that's opposite of the downtown Disney entrance on the side with the Disneyland Hotel. So traditionally, there's three entrances, right? There's downtown Disney. So if you're going to downtown Disney, maybe you're parking at the Simba parking lot and you're entering through security there by the Disneyland Hotel, or the Grand Californian's also on that side. Or you're driving into the Mickey and Friends parking lot and you're entering in through the Mickey and Friends parking lot, or there's an east entrance. Now, traditionally, the east entrance over on Harbor is the one that is the least crowded, that traditionally, because, that's going to be locals, that's going to be drop-offs, Ubers, maybe people stay in hotels on that side of the park, like neighborhood Disney hotels, not the Disneyland Resort hotels. But that is not the case. So as many of you know, because of Avengers Campus, people are trying to get into this land. And one of the ways that people are getting into this land is arriving at that east entrance at I kid you not, people showed up at 2 a.m. the day of opening day. Now, I don't think you need to show up that early, but people are advising 5 a.m. if you want to guarantee to get into. You can't even guarantee it. You really can't. I can't guarantee it. I don't think Disney Parks can guarantee it. But if you want a shot at getting into Avengers Campus for the day or in the morning, 5 a.m. is what people are talking about. You line up on the east side outside of security, and you wait and you hope you get that WEB Slingers virtual queue, and at the very least you can see the land. If you show up any later, there's a good chance you may not get into the land. So while that sounds really discouraging, I just want to keep it really real. So Mickey and Friends parking lot, I think the pluses there is it's more equipped to handle the crowd. So if you're going to Disneyland, or if you're just going to Disney California Adventure and you're hoping to get into Avengers Campus, but you don't need to guarantee you're going to get into Avengers Campus, park at Mickey and Friends. It's going to be less of a hassle. I don't know what security looks like right now on that side. I only know from my experience on the east side on Friday, but I'm pretty sure that, well, here's the thing with Mickey and Friends. They don't open the parking lot. The earliest I've seen them, from my experience, open that parking lot is 8:15. So as you know, right now the parks open at 9 a.m. So if you're going Mickey and Friends, you are not going to be there for the opening, okay? So if you need to be at Disneyland Resort or Disney California Adventure when the park opens and they open those gates, it's not going to happen for Mickey and Friends. If you're showing up from out of state, or if you're driving with your family and you're like, I don't need to be there for park open, I would advise you to go to Mickey and Friends, just because they can really handle the traffic coming in there. So you're not gonna get stuck in some crazy crowded line on the east side. Now, I did hear over the last couple of days, if you're arriving at the parks at 10 a.m., there's no line to get into the parks. So people really are coming for Avengers Campus, and it really is the most craziest at park open. So I'm gonna spend the next probably half of this or a third of this video on Avengers Campus, because I think a lot of people want to know what's going on over there. And then I will move into if you're coming from out of town, Disneyland Resort, that kind of stuff. So again, I will put timestamps for those of you. I think most of people are going to be at the playback, because I'm not seeing a ton of traffic in here. Okay, so so Avengers Campus, you guys. I'm just going to give you the timeline for us to give you a rough idea, because I don't think the crowds are going to die down for a while. If you know anything about SoCal Disney fans, they love a good challenge, okay? Because it's almost like it's so hard to get into the land, it almost gamifies it. And I think the true Disney fans that are local to Southern California, or California or the surrounding areas, Arizona, people coming in from out of state, I think a lot of the Disney fans have seen this before for other openings. Galaxy's Edge was probably kind of crazy in the beginning. I think the more challenging it is to get on that ride, to get into that land, the more people are desiring it. So I don't see this demand dying down until at fall, Halloween time. I think it's going to be really intense, especially with the parks opening to out of state people June 15th. They have been waiting a year and a half to get to Disneyland, and now there's a new land, and they're going to come from out of town, and they're going to want to see it. So this is how it went down for us. As I said, some people were there at 2 a.m. We could not handle that. I didn't fall asleep till 2 a.m. because I was so excited, and then I woke up around 5:15. I finally got out of bed at 5:30. We made the mistake of skipping our breakfast and coffee because we wanted to get into line as soon as possible. We're like, we'll get coffee when we get into the park. We were so wrong. From the moment those gates open, hi Mom, welcome. You're with Ollie. Oh, yay. Okay, thanks for checking in and saying hi. Hi, Oliver. That's my nephew. He is the cutest. And him and his brother Henry are big Avengers fans. So, and my brother, their dad. So hopefully he can watch the playback too. I'll to the east entrance, the harbor side of Disney. I'll go back to where we stayed at the hotel because I'm going to do that later. But we were staying at a hotel on the east side. We walked to that gate. The Esplanade was not open, but they do have an area, quite a large area to the side of the drop-off, if you guys are familiar, where they can just create these massive lines. So they were definitely prepared for the amount of guests trying to come that day as far as lines into the Esplanade are concerned and through security. So when we got there, it was 6:50, so it was almost 7 o'clock, and the Esplanade security was not open. As many of you know, a big time that you want to send, I put 2 alarms on my phone leading up to 7 a.m. And I highly suggest doing that because you just never know. Maybe your kid needs to go to the bathroom, or maybe you're in a conversation with someone. If you want to try to get on WEB Slingers or Rise of the Resistance, you need that alarm set. So at 7:58, we opened up the app. We refreshed. I said this in one of my other videos. Definitely make sure the night before, the morning of, you check to see if there's any updates on the Disneyland app. I would also update the Disney parks if you plan on doing any fun virtual gaming with your kids inside the parks. So Disney parks and Disneyland app for sure, Disneyland app, because that's where you're going to be doing all of your stuff through that. So update that, open it up. if you want to get on WEB Slingers or Rise, you guys, I don't know if this isn't 100% confirmed, but Nikki told me this morning, you cannot go on both. You got to choose. So I was under the impression that you could only be in a virtual queue for one ride at a time. But if that's true, you'd have to choose. You have to choose anyway because the virtual queue line starts at 7 a.m. for both. So you're either prioritizing Rise or you're prioritizing WEB Slingers. So of course it was opening day of Avengers Campus, so we wanted to get on WEB Slingers. So we were ready. I refreshed. It's a little confusing because the virtual queue, usually for, if you guys are familiar, usually on the app, I'd show you, but I'm streaming on my phone. Usually on the app, the virtual queue for Rise of the Resistance, the Star Wars ride, is right on the main page of the app. And you hit that join boarding group. But now that there's multiple virtual queues, including Indiana Jones at time, when that gets to capacity, they move Indiana Jones, the ride, Indiana Jones ride, to a virtual queue. So now you go in to the main page, you scroll down, join boarding group, and then you're gonna select WEB Slingers. I believe we were on the WEB Slingers page, and we refreshed because it was the first morning, so the button wasn't there yet. We refreshed. I think at like 7:58 it showed up, and then you hover over that button, and when hopefully your clock is synced up. Most cell phones, most smartphones are synced up to like the world clock or whatever. When that, you watch that 6:59, you watch the 6:59, and when it turns to 7, you hit as fast as you can and you pray, because I'll tell you what, everybody waiting to get in to Disneyland on the east side that day had their phones out, and I'll tell you, people were cheering and celebrating at 7, but not that many people. Most people were staring at their phones, dumbfounded, and it was kind of brutal. So I would say not even a third of the people waiting to get into the parks with their phone out, hovering with their fingers over the button at 7 a.m., even got a boarding group at 7 a.m. And it's tricky because at 12 p.m., you're going to have even more people coming over from Disneyland because they have the park hoppers. They can come into Disney California Adventure for the second half of the day. And at 12 p.m., you're going to have some serious competition to get a boarding group. So just know, this is the sad part of the video. I need my sad violin music. If you are coming from out of town, or you're just doing one day at Disneyland because it's gotten really expensive because everyone's paying full price right now, just tell your family, tell your friends, whoever you're there with, tell yourself, give yourself a little pep talk and be like, you may not get on WEB Slingers or Rise of the Resistance this time. Make peace with it, cry about it, because it's very likely that could happen. I'm not going to lie to you. We got super lucky. We did get boarding group 17, so fortunately I have a vlog. Otherwise, my vlog would have been us standing in line to get into Avengers Campus for 5 hours. That's literally how long people were waiting just to see the land, not even to go on the ride. Now, I think the lines to get into the land have died down. I would say they don't have them on the app, like the wait times to get into Avengers Campus, but if I could guess, I would say the average is 2 to 4 hours, probably skewing more to 2 hours now that they've controlled the flow a little bit more. But just know that. So that is my advice of, using that app and getting into that ride. And as far as I know right now, you really have to pick because it sounds like you can only do one a day, which is surprising to me. I really thought it'd be like, if you're lucky enough to get on one at 7, you can try for the other at 12. But that's what I'm hearing, so we'll find out. And then let me just go. I have a lot of notes, so I am going to be looking at them from time to time just because I want to get you guys all this information for those of you that are finding this video like, I need to know everything. Okay, so, and then again, the Mickey and Friends entrance is if you're just wanting you want to go back to Disneyland for the first time, you're with a family, you're with a stroller, you're with kids, and you want like the least path, like the easiest path in. Anyone has ideas for future Walt Disney Animation Studios films? Fun. If anyone wants to chat about that, feel free. I'm going to keep going about just this, all this information because there's just so much to go through. And if something pops into my head Disney fan, I will definitely share with you about future Walt Disney Animation Studios films because that's really fun question. Um, so, uh, so again, I would advise you to do Mickey and Friends if it's just like, you know what, I'm here with my family. I want to go back into Disneyland. I want to see Sleeping Beauty's castle. I want to ride Snow White. If I get into Avengers Campus, great. But if not, you know, you don't need to do the East entrance madness because it is crazy, you guys. Um, uh, oh, I want to say that I was watching Adventures in Design this morning, and he had a really good idea for those of you that have to be, you really want web slingers and you really want to see Avengers Campus, and you don't want to pay $154 a day and not see any of that, because that is happening to people, which is crushing. It's like you've planned this for so. Trust me, I've been planning to go to Avengers Campus for over a year now. That was the source of stress for an entire week. All my friends thought I was crazy. Like they're talking about their real world like issues, and I'm like, I just need to get into Avengers Campus. And I just knew you guys that the crowds were gonna be crazy. So I just intuitively knew that I could be really disappointed on Friday. The gods heard all my prayers and we got in right away, but I feel you if you don't get in. So he had a really good idea. And I linked his video if you want to check it out. He called it the gamble from home. So this really only applies to people that live like really close to the parks. Oh, here, really quick, Disney Fan 2005 has some ideas for future Walt Disney Animation Studio films. Encanto in November, there will be a film that takes place before dinosaurs called Adam and Eve. All right, we see you're a creationist. Is that, I don't even know. Um, yeah, right on, Disney fan. You got that out this morning. Okay, so, anyways, so for Adventures in Design, this gamble from home idea, it's brilliant. At first, when I watched this video, I'm like, is he going to tell people to do a mobile order and that will get you into a land? Because that will not. I'm telling you right now, that won't get you into Adventures Campus. That was like a 1-day thing, and it ended quickly because it was crazy. And people were filling up those drink and food queues by like 9 a.m. I kid you not. 9:15, Nikki couldn't order a drink at Pim Test Kitchen or Pim Tasting. What's the drink one? Anyways, so we got back in through that, but only that first day. So he had this idea, the gamble from home idea. This only applies to people that can be really close to the park at 7 a.m. Because if you do this at 7 a.m. and you're, you know, an hour away, you could miss your boarding group. So his idea is that you go onto the app and you try to get a reservation or a boarding group time for Web Slingers at 7 a.m. And if you get it, you bolt over to the parks and you go on that ride. Now, if any of you know, it's pretty tricky to get into the parks under an hour with how impacted they are right now. So I would suggest actually don't do it from your home, because if you get boarding group, 1 through 35, you may miss your boarding group time and they will not let you in. So you don't want to do that gamble and then not get in. So, and also I think, yeah, so you would need 3 things. You would need a ticket, you would need a reservation for that day, and then I would say get in line on that east entrance like you're going to the park. Because we got into boarding group 17 and we barely made it, and we were at the parks before 7. So just to give you kind of a timeline, if it's truly crowded, you're gonna miss your boarding group. So you don't wanna gamble on getting a boarding group and then not getting in. So I would like put a little note on that. Don't do it from your house. Don't do it from your couch and think that you're gonna get there in time. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like Mickey and Friends, you can't even drive into Mickey and Friends and get to the park before 9 o'clock or 9:30 because of how crazy it is getting in through the parking lot. And on the timeline of getting in, I forgot to mention this. On that timeline of getting into the parks, they did open security. I think it was around 8:15, And then we were no, it was earlier than that because we were inside Disney California Adventure around like 8:15, 8:30. So they started opening security, I guess around 7:15. Is that right? Yeah, I think probably pretty early, like 7:15, 7:30, they opened up security. And by the time we got to the front gates of Disney California Adventure, they were open. So the gates, I don't know if they're just doing that on opening day, but my understanding is they do have a soft opening. So this has happened to me a few times where I go to Mickey and Friends, I drive in when that opens at 8:15, and people are walking into the parks at the same time. So just give you a heads up. If you want to be there at the parks right when they open, you're going to have to wait in that line somewhere on the ground by like 7 or earlier. So just to give you that heads up that they are doing a soft opening and people are going into Avengers Campus, 45 minutes, a half hour before the parks are even open. So the parks are open right now 9 to 9 p.m. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I think we could see the hours extended when it's open mid-June to out-of-state guests. I think that a lot of you that have reservations for July, August, I think you're in luck. I think that they're going to extend the hours. This is just my intuition. This is not official because just because of the sheer volume of people coming from out of state wanting like their money's worth. And Avengers Campus, you guys, it's so pretty at night. That was my favorite thing, and I didn't even get to see it until the park closed. I got really lucky. I got in it. Nikki and I got in at 8:45 p.m. The parks closed at 9, and in my mind, I was so optimistic that something might happen. But it was done. The day was done. The park was closed, and I was just so glad I got to see it because there's only like a half hour that it's dark because the days are so long right now. So it's not dark, really, truly dark until 8:30, and then it closes at 9. So I think because it's such a magical thing, I don't know if that's weird. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna mute the Disney fan just because just because those topics, the film thing, whatever they're talking about, the animated films, it's so off topic and it's clearly like someone that goes into chats just to talk about their like creationist theories. So I'm just gonna, that's not what this video is about, as much as I love Disney fans and I think that's great and all. It's off topic and it's distracting, so I'm gonna okay, so that's the gamble from home method. Good luck. I actually legit would do that because I want to go back so bad, and I want to be able to tell my kids like, hey, we're going on WEB Slingers. Now it's a little bit trickier for us because we live 2 hours away, so we would need to plan like a few days in Anaheim and just try every day and the day that we get it, that's the day we're going to Disney California Adventure. So you have to plan those reservations. I don't think there's any penalties for not showing up for your reservation. I believe you still have a ticket. It could be that Disney gets wind of this and they find a workaround. Like I could see them moving the virtual queue to like you have to be on Disney property because that's how it used to be for Rise of the Resistance. And with this level of demand for a new ride, I could very well see them being like, you need to be on property by 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. or you're not getting on this ride. So we'll see what happens. Every day is a new day. They're also like watching all these vlogs, probably trying to figure out what are the fans saying, what are they doing, scrambling to try to figure this out to make it fair for as many people as possible. I don't envy them, you guys. It's insane. The land is really, really small. If you remember A Bug's Land, it is tiny. So that's why it's so tricky because the capacity rules and everyone right now at Disney, like the whole land is all about that. The line started on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywoodland, and it ran all the way to the Pixar Pier and back. It was hard to comprehend how long that line was, and I don't envy the people that had to do that day. And honestly, I would have done that because I needed to get in that land. I'd been planning for it, so I feel you. Okay, so the eat and drink, I was just like, eat and drink coffee before you go. Don't do what I did. You'll have a splitting headache. Thank God Nikki had Tylenol and we survived it. But now, we were in a unique situation in that we couldn't order. They were only doing mobile orders. So we got into the land super early, but all the mobile order times were filled up to the point where the PIM test kitchen, we couldn't even put in an order for park closed. Like it was full for the day. So it was like, I'm sorry, you can't order any food or drink right now. And they weren't doing walk up. And then the Shawarma Palace, the first one that's in the main, like right by, it's like right in front of the Ancient Sanctum. If you guys have you watched any like layout videos, I'll link hi Disney Adventure Vlogs. Thanks for coming by. I recognize your channel name. I saw that you subscribed. Thank you. So I don't know if you've watched any videos. I did a live video where I did a full walkthrough, and I'll link it in the playback. So the first Shawarma Palace, the opening day, and I don't know if you were there opening day, but opening day we couldn't. It was it was closed. Like we couldn't walk up. I think you couldn't. It was like the virtual queue was totally filled for that and PIM Test Kitchen. So PIM Test Kitchen has coffee and iced brewed coffee, and we could not get either of those. Thank goodness the Shawarma 2 over by the Hyperion had mobile order times. I think it was around like 10:45, so we did have to wait a while before we got the Shawarma Palace breakfast wrap. It's the meatless sausage breakfast wrap, and they had Diet Cokes. So that's what we had for breakfast. I have to tell you, I did not like the Shawarma Palace breakfast, the meatless breakfast wrap. In theory, it could be really good, but they put like a ton of mayo on it, and it wasn't great, but we ate it because that's literally all we could find in the land at that point. Now, the rules have changed. Now, if you get in, I think very quickly they're like, oh my gosh, people are getting into this land and there's nothing to eat or drink. That's a problem, right? You don't want people fainting, complaining, hungry, angry. So they've changed the rules. So these are the current rules as of today for food in Avengers Campus. Shawarma Palace is walk-up only, which is really smart. You have to be in the land. It's not going to be crowded. It's going to be crowded when you get in the land, but it's not like the opening where it's like everyone's trying to get into Disneyland California Adventure. They're controlling the flow. So it's walk-up only at Shawarma Palace. So like I really wanted to try the I did not get to try that. I'm sure that's the one to try. So I can't really judge the food in Avengers Campus because I didn't even get the chance. Hey, hi, Nikki. She says, hi, Susan and Courtney. Yay, Nikki's working, you guys, but she's able to join us. Hopefully, I don't know how much she can chime in, but she really has like a wealth of knowledge about all things Disney. I was actually texting with her this morning. I'm like, do you have any tips? So, like all her tips are in here too. So thank you for being our Super Cali Disney correspondent. That is her official title that I bestowed upon her because she's been so awesome and helpful. So, so she's here, and also Disney Adventure Vlogs, Nikki, they're here too. So anyways, so I was saying now Shawarma Palace is walk-up only, so you have to be inside the land. So if you get inside the land and you wait in line, you can try a chicken shawarma, which is great news. And I don't have any sense of how long that line is at this point. And then the PIM Test Kitchen, you need to be inside of Avengers Campus to order, which is really smart. This prevents the people mobile ordering to try to get into the land and then them saying, sorry, you missed your mobile order. We have to issue a refund. I can't even... Disney Adventure Vlogs, they say next week out-of-state visitors can visit. Also, I just got a job offer at Disney World as a custodial full-time cast member. I can't wait. That is so amazing. You guys, I need a sound table. I need like the air horn. Okay, life goals or channel goals, I should say. I'm gonna get a board and I'm gonna do the sound, like the sounds for all the different things. Cause earlier a troll came in, so I wanna play the troll song cause it's hilarious, like every time a troll comes in. And that's awesome. That is, congratulations. That's a really big deal because especially at Disney World, I feel like it's a little more competitive to get a job there. So way to go. And you gotta watch the vlog on Thursday if you can, Disney Adventure Vlogs, because on Thursday there's this really special moment. I don't know if anyone's gonna notice it, but Nikki and I are getting off of WEB Slingers, and all of what's unique about the day of these openings is the Imagineers are there to see how everyone's reacting. We're getting off of WEB Slingers. Imagineers are watching us as we get off. They're in the vlog. And then we're walking through the exit corridor, and a custodial cast member is walking by, and Nikki, I'm getting chills right now. Nikki waves and says, thank you. And she waves and says, thank you. And I had to include it in the vlog because it's not just about the Imagineers. It's not just about the character experiences, like down to like every single person every single cast member that is working, it makes it so magical. There was another really cool moment in the video where the Disney cast member custodial staff, they clean up the floor over by the Hyperion and then the ground, and then there's these beautiful purple flowers, and they make these symbols in the ground, and they made a beautiful, perfectly made like stencil, Avengers Campus and a PIM like particle symbol. And that was a really cool little detail I also had to include in the vlog. So congratulations to you, that's rad, and thank you. I need an air horn. You're my first super chat. That's exciting. I've had that thing unlocked for a little bit now, and I haven't really said much about it, but thank you so much for being my first Super Cali super chat. So that's epic. Awesome. So cool. Still super tough to get Rise of the Resistance boarding passes. I think I don't know. So when I tried to get Rise, it was, but that was before WEB Slingers. And according to what Nikki and I were chatting back and forth this morning, and she said you have to choose between WEB Slingers and Rise. So I imagine it is easier to get on Rise, but I can't speak to how hard it is. I was saying earlier in the video, if you want to watch the playback, I'll put timestamps. I was saying you need to have that boarding group button up. You need to be in that boarding group page, which you find it on the main page, and then you hit join boarding group, and then you have to select whether it's Rise or Disneyland or Disney California Adventure. So go into the Disneyland boarding groups, make sure you refresh your phone at like 6:58, 6:59, and then at 6:59 you just hover over that button. Don't let anyone talk to you. Don't let anyone distract you. And the second you see it turn to 7, you hit that button. That's my advice. That's how I've done it. That's the only way I know to do it. And two good things are, at least I can come into the parks for free. More reservations have opened up for the 50th anniversary at Walt Disney World. Get your tickets before it's sold out. So they're opening up. Could you put in the chat if they have a plan to be at full capacity or if they are at full capacity? Because when I was at Walt Disney World, they were not, and cast members still could not make reservations. So congratulations to all the Walt Disney World cast members that can finally go back to the parks. Everyone had such a good attitude about it. That is one of the reasons to be a Disney cast member, is to be able to get to experience that Disney magic for yourself on a regular basis. So that's awesome. That's really good news. Love those shares. And just to get back to, I have a huge outline, you guys. I do want to get through all this for everyone looking for this content. Okay, so Shawarma Palace is currently walk-up only. PIM test kitchen, you need to be inside to order. So you have to be inside, which tells me that there's a chance, because since they can see where you are in the parks, I wouldn't be surprised if you have to be in the Disney parks to make a WEB Slingers virtual queue. Because the minute they start realizing that people are trying to get into that virtual queue from surrounding areas and then not going to the park if they don't, I could very well see that being a requirement to go on WEB Slingers. That's just me guessing, but they do have that ability because of the GPS feature of knowing your location while you're using the app. So also turn on your location notification. So if you're someone that's like, I want to be super private, I like to be private too, somewhat. I'm a vlogger, so I'm not that private, but I don't want people following me around. So I turn it to only track my location while using the app. So when the app's open, then they can, and if I turn off the app, they cannot. So that's the level that I have it at, but just be sure to adjust all of those levels too before you visit Disneyland Resort, so they can know you're inside Avengers Campus and you may want to make that mobile order. And then the PIM, oh, you know what? I didn't title these right. Just a sec. It's the PIM test kitchen and the PIM tasting lab. I think I wrote, it's a typo. I think it's that. Oh shoot, I just busted. Just a sec, you guys. I was trying to type in the wrong field. I'll fix it after the chat. So I'm trying to get back in so I can see all your chats. Okay, just a sec. I will go to the chats. I just want to get this out. So the PIM tasting lab, I think it's called. I'm just going off of memory here. They have, PIM tasting lab. Okay, so the PIM tasting lab, you can still do mobile order. You need, I believe, a ticket and a reservation, but you can do mobile order for the tasting lab. So that's the drinks. Like I got the particle fizz. Honestly, I don't think they mixed mine right. It was the first day, so I'm not gonna assume that's how it would taste. It's supposed to be hard seltzer water, Pog, which is a Hawaiian like fruit juice cocktail that's really yummy. It's very popular in Hawaii to have Pog with rum. We love that cocktail when we're in Hawaii. So it's Pog, hard seltzer water, and boba, and I'm a huge fan of boba. I can't remember the flavor of boba. I remember it being reddish, so I don't know if it was like mango or cherry. I can't remember, but because it didn't taste very good, and I was in the middle of a live vlog, and it was crazy. And the park was closing, but I think they forgot the Pog, or I think they ran out of the Pog, because I did not taste the fruit juice, and it just tasted like hard seltzer water. That was like which is fine, but that's, So I would go back and try all the PIM tasting labs. I think that'd be such a fun video. I don't know when I can do that, so no promises, but come 2022, maybe we'll do that. Okay, so where am I? Really quick. Since I got that out about all the different ways that you can get food in the land, there are some more chats. Oh, so for Walt Disney World, Disney Adventure Vlogs thinks they're going to open up to full capacity, and they're still hiring cast members. Yeah, because going to full capacity is not that simple. You have to not only hire new cast members, you have to train new cast members, and that is quite a process. So it's not just like, oh, the state's back to full capacity, let's go. And I've heard here at Disneyland Resort in Southern California, they're having trouble because they'll call a lot of the younger cast members back to work, and they're like, sorry, I got a job, so I'm not coming back. So there's been a lot of needing to hire new people, train new people, so it's not that simple. It's a big operation. It's very impressive, actually, when you think about it. And then interwebs say Walt Disney World is not at full capacity yet. No ETA given that I can see. Yeah, so I haven't heard any total confirmation. I know that they did open up to a larger capacity recently, but not maybe full capacity, it blows my mind, because when we were at Walt Disney World, I don't know what capacity level they were at, but it was definitely not full capacity. And you guys, it was pretty crowded. So even Disneyland, like they say they're at 35% capacity, I would be fearful to see 100% capacity. It would be like, I can't walk. Like it feels that crowded right now. Like, Indiana Jones, they had to put that on a virtual queue because the lines were getting too long. Up until the opening of Avengers Campus, the wait for Guardians of the Galaxy was like 60 minutes. So to me, I can't even imagine what 100% capacity looks like, but they're supposedly still at 35% capacity. So we'll see. And I'm sure Disneyland Resort will also increase capacity as in the months ahead. Okay, so I just really want to read my notes. Okay, I have a tip here. If you get into Avengers Campus, do everything that you want to do in that land before you leave. I know this seems obvious, but like we were in the land from park opening, so about like 8:30, I think it was, until about 10:45. Now looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, we should have like stayed, explored. But you guys, we needed coffee, we were hungry. Like that day there wasn't really a lot of food and drink available because the mobile order queues filling up. And now looking back, it would have been so fun to look for Easter eggs. It would have been fun to maybe stand in line for web suppliers just to see it, because I don't know when I'm going back. Apparently there's a Hulk tree that we missed somehow, like in the entryway on your left. Nikki was telling me about it. So even though in the moment you're gonna be tired, you're maybe gonna be worn out, you're gonna be discouraged by the crowds or the lines or whatever, but just remind yourself and your party you're probably not going back for at least that day. So just a tip to like get it all done, because you know it's like the VIP lounge. Once you go out, you don't have entry back. Like whoever you walked in with, you're no longer with, and you can't get back into that VIP lounge. Like that's exactly what it felt like. Like we snuck into the VIP lounge, and when they like put up those barriers. Okay. And then you walk back in. Just so you guys know, these outbursts, my kids have school at 12, so there's going to be like, get on your Zoom. But I'm going to keep going because there's a lot to talk about. So yeah, it felt like that feeling of like, we're not going back. Like this is a one way, you know, this is a one way exit. There's no return. Any recommendations? Old School Mike says Oh yeah, Old School Mike dropped a couple chats. Interwebs say Walt Disney World is not at full capacity yet. Oh no, he already said that. Old School Mike is saying, any recommendations for things to do around Disneyland if not in the parks for a day? That's a really good question. I would say check out, if you're not doing downtown Disney. Hey, Declan, I'm still in my live video. Please don't yell. If you're talking about downtown Disney, I would say that's really cool. So definitely like the shopping and the food in downtown Disney. And then if you're talking about completely off the parks, Garden Walk is there. Soak City at Knott's Berry Farm is not that far away if you want to hit a water park. Just a note that Knott's Berry Farm and Soak City, you need to make a reservation. So if you're planning your trip, if you're having that day, you know you're not going to be inside the Disney parks, make that reservation now for Soak City or Knott's Berry Farm. So just a heads up that they're also doing the reservation system. But that's what I would say, or maybe head to the beach. Huntington Beach isn't that far away. That's pretty cool scene. I haven't been in a long time, but I think that's the closest beach. So yeah, there's lots of cool things to see if you just want to hang out in SoCal for sure. Someone said one bad thing, Avengers Campus, are bathrooms. They only have 3 stalls in the bathrooms for the men's and the women's. That's why some people were holding it. Oh, whoa. Oh, hey, Lori Jean. Thanks for coming by. We finally got into Avengers Campus. It was epic. The vlog is going to be Thursday if you can join us at 9 a.m. You guys, thank you. Declan, come on. I can hear you. I did not experience trouble getting into the bathroom, but we were there in the morning. I don't remember how many stalls there were. It did not seem like there wasn't enough space in the bathroom, but I could imagine having only one bathroom in an impacted land could be an issue. So I'm sorry for anyone that got stuck in lines at that bathroom. Fortunately, we walked right in, but it was very early on the first day, so people were probably not even thinking about the bathroom at that point. I'm one of those people, I spend half of my time in the bathroom at Disneyland. That's just kind of how it goes down. I had 2 kids, what can I say? Okay, so, but I'm sorry to hear that. We'll see what they do about it. If you go, and if you have a kid that needs to go to the bathroom, if you head over to the Hyperion and you talk to security, I bet you anything, if it's a kid that needs to pee right away, I can't guarantee this, but they're so great with kids, you guys. Now, they're not going to do this for you, but if you have a medical condition or your kid is needing to pee, they don't want people having accidents or hurting themselves while they're there. I have a feeling they might let you through that barrier to run into Hollywoodland for the bathroom really quick and run back. You just got to make sure that whatever cast member you talk to, that their shift is not ending in the next 15 minutes. Because then if it's a new cast member, they're like, I didn't know you made this agreement, you know. But for the most part, they're pretty reasonable. In fact, people were doing things like pretending their phone had died and that they had a boarding group time and like making up a boarding group number and like getting into WEB Slingers. So, you know, people take advantage of the Disney cast members and how friendly they are. But if you have a legit special need, like they will definitely, like, trust me, my daughter is celiac and type 1, and they are so lovely. In fact, if you have a disability, get your DSA card, get it loaded on the app for you and your party, because I also believe they do have disability access into the land too. So just a heads up, if you truly have a disability. Hey, Declan, I need you to put headphones on, sweetheart. Decky. Mr. Declan. Thanks, baby. Did you find him? I'm just asking my son. Your headphones. You gotta put your headphones on. I can hear. What's the sound I'm hearing right now?
That's Raleigh.
Oh, could you you tell her to turn it down and shut her door, please? And do it very kindly, please, so you guys aren't screaming at each other. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so the day is underway. Yeah, my kids now have school from 12 to 3. So, let's see. And this is their last week. I'm almost free. We're almost on summer break and we can go. We actually want to go to Soak City for Father's Day, but I feel like the reservations might be filled up, so we'll see. Okay, where am I? I'm being really stubborn and I want to get through this list because I feel like somebody is gonna find this video that's like, I need to know all these things, and for you, I am going to say all these things. Okay, so I'm actually gonna space it out so I don't have to skim through all my notes every single time, so I can find my place easily. Okay, there we go, and I'm gonna refresh this. Sorry, you guys, I'm on my computer and I wanna make sure I've got, you still with me? Sorry, you still with me? All right, okay. So, Hollywoodland, so here's the thing. If you're with your family and they love Marvel, or maybe your kids love Marvel, but you're like, I'm not waiting in the line, this is insane, and you don't get that boarding group time, just to let you know, if you are going to Disney California Adventure, in Hollywoodland, there are all these really cool Marvel experiences, and your kids, I mean, they'll, if they're 8 or older, they'll know the difference, but if they're younger, they totally won't even notice. They'll be like, oh my gosh, today I posted a video of Chip and Dale, Disney bounding Loki and Thor, and they're all cute with this little character experience. There's a WandaVision photo op still. There's a Falcon and Winter Soldier photo op. There's this Marvel emblem for all the different characters photo drop. For those of you, oh, you've got breaking news. It's very good news. Yeah, drop that breaking news. That's awesome. Thanks for being here and sharing it with us. That comes from Disney Adventure Vlogs. Nice. There's also, for those of you that are like, I need the WEB Slingers for my kid. I need the spider bots. I want the goggles, the 3D goggles for if you want your kid to have all the things, or maybe for the next time when you try to get on the ride or whatever, they have kiosks throughout Disney California Adventure, and they're selling the merchandise outside of Avengers Campus. There might be some items that are exclusive to Avengers Campus. I haven't had a chance to walk through web suppliers and see all the things, but the pins and a lot of other things, the new Avengers limited pin, which I don't know how long that's going to be around. People, that was selling up really quick out of one of the kiosks, but they had it at Guardians of the Galaxy. That shop, if you go on Guardians of the Galaxy inside the land, that shop was not that full, and they had a ton of Avengers and Marvel merchandise there. And then if you're outside the land, you guys, stage 17 is still all decked out in Marvel, Avengers, everything. So you could take your family in there to do some shopping. There's tons of Avengers Campus and Marvel. They had Avengers Campus, all the clothes and a lot of stuff inside that stage 17 when we were there on Friday. So, and we walked right in. So we actually did that instead of get into web suppliers. And then I believe, I haven't been there, but I believe at Downtown Disney, at the Disney store, you're also going to find some Marvel merchandise. So there are opportunities to get merchandise even if you don't get into the land. So just breathe. And I hear the mint, I don't, this is totally off topic, but all the mint, the Loungefly backpacks and that mint, the mint is the color for 2021. Jesse, you want to show him your phone? Mint is he got an iPhone and the new mint color. This is, oh wait, I don't want to pop it out, but mint is he got the mint, is so cool. Phone. What? You want to pop it out for me? I'm afraid I don't want to drop it. Mint is the color for 2021, and there's more mint Disney merchandise out as of like just a couple days ago, or maybe yesterday, I don't know. So there's lots of shopping, even if you don't get into Avengers Campus. How cool is that? I'm jealous. I have I have whites, and then I've got like a pink, like a pastel pink that I really like too. Case. So we're like Miami colors between the two of us. Okay, cast members training for reopening of David Crockett's Explorer canoes at Disneyland. That is such good news. They're bringing back the canoes. So I don't know if you guys remember the canoes. They have been closed at Walt Disney World. And of course, Disneyland, I don't even think they've opened Pirates Cove or, whatever they renamed Tom Sawyer's Island. So that's really exciting for Walt Disney World. If you know, be ready. It's a little bit of a workout. You will be rowing, but that's great that they're training cast members to boat those around the canoes, paddle those around the Tom Sawyer's Island out there. It's so cool. The Rivers of America, that's what it's called. Okay, so very cool news. Thank you for that. Okay, so if you're someone, so now I'm going to move on. I've just, for, 60 minutes, we've been talking and focusing on Avengers Campus. Now I'm going to move on. If you're those people that's like, I need to go back to Disneyland Resort for the first time with just me, my friends, my family. This is more for you guys. I'm going to try to share everything I know at this point. And if Nikki, if you're still here, maybe you can chime in because she's just a total wealth of information on this subject. Okay, so the park. There's no lines to get in. Well, okay, I can't guarantee when the lines are going to be. The rush is Avengers Campus in the morning, and probably also people trying to get into Rise of the Resistance. So we've heard that there's much less people trying to get into the gates at 10. So if maybe you want to have a nice breakfast, and in fact, speaking of food and breakfasts, Nikki did something really smart. The day that we had a reservation for Disney California Adventure, she made a reservation for Storytellers Cafe, so we were able to get into the Grand Californian. So if you guys don't know, for a while the Grand Californian was only open to hotel guests. You could not come in. Now is open for hotel guests and people that have a reservation for Storytellers Cafe. So that is another really unique experience. Now it is expensive. It's $45 a person and there's no character experience. So it is quite pricey, but if you really want to see the Grand Californian, that is an option for you. Also, I have to tell you, it's a pretty small gift shop, but I love the Disney Resort gift shops because they have merchandise you can't find anywhere else. I got a bathing suit, you guys. I'm so excited about it. I live in Palm Springs, so I'm always looking for a good bathing suit because we're in the pool every day. I got the Disney Vacation Club member bathing suit. So I don't know if it was official Disney Club. I don't know if you need to be a member for some of that merchandise. This was, anyone could buy it. It's really cute. It's navy with a little Minnie Mouse on it. And they have the bathrobes, if you guys are familiar, from the Grand Californian. So when we were at the Polynesian, in Walt Disney World, they had the Polynesian with the Maui symbol bathrobes. At the Grand Californian, they have the Grand Californian patch on these gorgeous heavyweight bathrobes. So if you're looking for exclusive merchandise that you can only get inside the resort, you might want to consider going and eating at the Storytellers Cafe. Also, bonus, say you do that in the morning, you can then enter into Disney California Adventure through the Grand Californian. Someone said, I think you can still see something inside the gate of Grand California if you show a storyteller's receipt. Is this true? Old School Mike, I do not know. I know that we had a reservation for the Storytellers Cafe, and they wouldn't let, so we entered from, so if you guys know, there's 3 entrances to the Grand Californian. There's the downtown Disney entrance, there is the Grand Californian entrance, and then there is the Disney California Adventure entrance that you can only go if you in and out if you have a ticket to Disney California Adventure that day. So we were at Disney California Adventure. We entered through to the Grand Californian, through security. They did look at our reservation time, and we could not enter until our reservation time. So I don't know if later in the day, if we had showed a receipt, if they'd let us back in. I can't speak to that. I do think that the Grand Californian is going to open up to guests like come July, or open up to the public come July. But as of now, you do need that mobile reservation confirmation, or you need to be a guest of the hotel. And what's so cool about that is you can then, like, say you don't need to be at Avengers Campus like first thing in the morning, or you're just going to Disney California Adventure for the day with your family. You could eat at Storytellers Cafe and then avoid the crowds and just walk right in there into that Grizzly Peak, the Grizzly Flats area. So that's just something to think about. Now you do need to make a reservation, and I don't know how far in advance they fill up. Nikki's pretty good about hitting those reservation lines. Like, I think it's 60 days out. Don't quote me on that, but they do. Things can fill up. Like Oga's Cantina, I've yet to go back because I snoozed and I didn't make a reservation. I'm kicking myself because I totally could have. I planned our Walt Disney World trip in February. I could have very easily made an Oga's Cantina reservation, and I messed up and I didn't do it in time. So you do need to plan those things in advance, but it's just an FYI for those of you like, oh, I really want to get inside the Grand Californian. That is an option for you. You do need a reservation. You do need a ticket and a reservation for the day that you're going to Storytellers Cafe, or you need to, of course, be a guest of the hotel. So that's just a little bit about the Grand Californian that I wanted to share with you guys. Okay. Old School Mike is saying, I was asking the question when you were already talking about into the side entrance to DCA. Oh, haha, you just answered. Oh, okay. All right, yeah, sometimes there's a delay, so that's just kismet. Not sure, but cool. I read minds. Okay, so so let me get back to this. Oh, this is exciting. I'm not going to be there, but I'm excited for everyone doing it. Disneyland Hotel is opening July 2nd, and I believe Trader Vic's. So we're here. I don't know if you can tell with my like little tiki bar in the background here. We are really into tiki. We're going through a tiki thing, I guess you could say. I don't know how permanent it is, but I'm fully in right now. And I would be so excited to go back to Trader Vic's in July, but I don't know when I'll go, but eventually, hopefully. We are fans of the artist Shag, and he has an event in June here in Palm Springs. So we are going to that. So hopefully I can make a vlog about that if any of you are interested. Not a lot of people on my channel seem to click on the Tiki Disney content, but I'm such a huge fan. I sprinkle that into my content. I'm okay with the views being lower because for those people that are really into it, I'm so happy to share those experiences with you. I had one viewer up in Canada be like, thank you so much for doing a walkthrough of the Shag store. I can't find this content, and it was so fun to see. I haven't been back because of quarantine, so I'm really happy to make that content. So if you like it, definitely let me know, because it does help encourage me to make a little bit more of it. So we will be going. We just made the reservation today to go to that Shag event. They're releasing a new Shag print called Dolce Dolce Dolce. It's a party scene from La Dolce Vita. So yeah, Jesse's like, don't tell them. I don't want anyone to know about it. But there's not a lot of people that find my videos, let alone are 70 minutes deep. So for those of you, if you're fellow Tiki lovers, or you happen to like Shag's artwork, you found me. So we'll be bringing more vlogs about that. So Disneyland Hotel, Trader Vic's opening July 2nd. I'm so happy for everyone that gets to go back and experience that again, or for the first time. So I have really just one piece of advice for out-of-state guests. This is for you. Again, I will put timestamps for everybody coming to the playback. Know your bucket list before. Know your one or two things that you really want to do. So if you're at Disneyland, you really want to ride the new Snow White Enchanted Wish ride, do that first. And also, if you're with a group, maybe you're with a whole family, maybe you're with all your friends, don't be shy. Take the time to sit everyone down, maybe talk about it on the plane ride over or in the hotel the night before. Like really talk about, okay, everybody share like the one thing they really want to do while we're here, and you guys do it first. And just a heads up, do not make it Web Slingers and do not make it Rise of the Resistance, because you don't want to set yourself up for disappointment. I would say present those to your friends and family as that's bonus. Like, we're gonna have this bucket list. Like, we need to go to Tom Sawyer's Island. Well, that's Walt Disney World. We need to we need to find Patrick Bagora's house or something, like, that like you really want to do now that you've given a lot of time about what you want to do, and talk about it so you guys can map out, okay, how can everyone get that one thing? Because, for example, when we were at Walt Disney World, when we were at Epcot, Raleigh really wanted to ride Frozen, and she did get to ride it. We did it the first ride of the day, but then we told her, oh, we'll ride it before we leave the park, and we thought the park was closing, I think, at 11, and we had the wrong time. It closed at 10, so she did not get that second time on Frozen, and it was crushing. Like when a 5-year-old has this dream of doing that one thing, and they've like waited in line at all your rides that maybe they're too scared to ride or whatever. It was just like heartbreaking. We did end up going back for that reason, and we canceled one of our Hollywood Studios days, but so she ended up getting lots of Frozen ride, but maybe you're only going one day. So just really, that was like someone advised me to do that before going to Walt Disney World, and that's my big piece of advice. Like, have everyone talk in your party before you go about that one thing that if they don't do it, they'll be really crushed. So, or they really are looking forward to, is maybe how you want to present it. And tell everyone, hey, look, rides break down. Like when we were there, Racers was shut down for the end of the night because like a car got stuck on the track. Disney Adventure Vlog said, for me, I would just do all the rides at one land and then the next land. Good luck. It is not an easy thing to get all the rides, especially now. Like Indiana Jones, we did not get into that virtual queue. They close it, you guys. Like Pirates of the Caribbean, when that line is at capacity, they close it. They closed it on us 3 times, and then we finally got to go on that ride. So especially if you're with a group of people, if you're by yourself, you might be able to pull it off to go on every ride. But if you're with a group, you're not going on every ride. I'm just going to tell you right now with the way that the flow of traffic is at Disneyland Resort. So just have those top things and know them and do them first. And while I'm talking about it, for example, other than the virtual queue rides, which would be Indiana Jones, Rise of the Resistance, and Web Slingers, you guys, the hardest ride to get on is the train, the Disneyland train, because they're spreading people out. I don't know how spread out people are, but when we went, first of all, it closed at 2. Now, thank goodness, it's open the entire length of the park, like all day. It's open all day. But it was so sad because we finally got on it. We were one of the last people before it closed at 2 to get on it, and the last guest to get on it. And we looked out, and there were all these kids with their parents, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, that kid probably loves trains, and they're not getting on this ride today. So if you have a little kid that loves trains, and you're like, oh, we'll do the Disneyland train, allow for some time. Like, it might look like there's only like 6 parties in line for the train, but if nobody's getting off, nobody's getting on. So that's a really tricky ride to get on. And maybe if your kids are really into train rides, just do the whole loop, It might be tempting to be like, oh, let's get off in Toontown or at Tomorrowland, but just, I don't know. It's my impression that is one of the hardest, longest waits right now, because they can't put that many people on each car, and if people aren't getting off, they don't put people on. So that was like when we were doing it, it was really spread out, and I think like maybe one group per train coming by got on. Now they did add trains. When we were there was only 2 trains. I think they're up to 4. So maybe I'm wrong about that, but just like that's a perfect example. If you have a kiddo that loves trains or whatever, and you put that off, like it would be really like, I'm sorry, we came all this way and you're not riding the Disneyland train. So the Disneyland Railroad. Okay, so the next thing is like to fuel rod or not to fuel rod. I don't know if you guys have any opinions about the fuel rod. I finally tried it. Here's the plus. The plus is you're never going to run out of power while you're at the Disney parks, any of the Disney parks, because you can always go to a fuel rod kiosk and exchange it for a brand new one. You can bring it home and you can charge it and use it at home. Oh, in fact, I have it right here. I have a prop. So you can open it and these are the contents here. So here's the fuel rod. It's not very big, so it can fit in your pocket. Someone said, when do you think the monorail will be coming back? I don't know if you're talking about Walt Disney World at Epcot or at Disneyland. I don't know. I do know. Disneyland, it will come back when the regulations about being inside for a certain amount of time changes. So I don't know if you guys know, but right now the requirement is, I think you can't be inside for more than, I want to say 3 minutes, but it must be longer. It must be like 15. I don't know what the requirement is, but there's a requirement. So if you've been at Disneyland Resort, you notice the lines do not go inside. The lines are wrapping around outside, and then they quickly walk you onto the ride. So if it's a 3-minute ride, they have you in and out in like 5 to 7 minutes. So the monorail is a long indoor ride. Oh, at 15 minutes. Thanks, old school Mike. 15 minutes. That makes sense. 3 minutes is... But a 3-minute ride, for example, they could get you in and out in 15 minutes. The monorail is quite a long ride, so until that regulation changes here in California, we won't have the monorail. So who knows? July, I mean, more and more people are getting vaccinated. The case numbers are going down. So if we continue to open, hopefully soon, that's a really good question. So this is it. It fits in your pocket, this fuel rod. It gets warm. So it's not hot, but it does get warm. Another plus is it has all these adapters. I don't pretend to know the names of all the different adapters, but you've got this, which is what you usually use. I don't know what it is, but it's like on your cameras. A lot of devices charge with this, shape. And then you've got the new like iPhone and computer, like Mac computer, I don't know what it's called. And then you got your standard like older iPhone charger here. So, and then they all, so this one goes on to the old one. Oh wait, right? No, it goes on to this one here. It's like an adapter. Okay, so you've got adapters for charging pretty much any device. For the last 20 years would use one of these. And then it's pretty small and the cables are small, so you can just stick it in your pocket and charge your phone. Here's the cons, you guys. They're not very powerful, okay? So I have an iPhone, I shoot on my iPhone. I actually wasn't even shooting. This barely kept my phone alive. So once my phone was down to the yellow and lower, I had this attached to my phone all day. And you guys, I switched it out 3 times. So they're not very powerful. You could find something, they're $30, so they're a little pricey. You could find something for like half the price that is 3 times more powerful online. So if you plan ahead, probably just do that and know that it's powerful enough to keep your phone charged all day. So it is a convenience. If you get stuck in the park, it's a convenience that you can always switch it out and get a new one. It's a con that you have to go to a kiosk to switch it out. So especially if you're with a bunch of people, like convincing them, hey, I have to stop in the shop and switch out my fuel rod. It's like taking more bathroom stops. Like you don't want to take more time out of your day to stop and do something that's not a ride or a character experience or something like that. So those are my cons, but I did get it. I'm glad I got it because I did keep my phone charged for the day, but again, it was like barely keeping it alive. And I did switch it out 3 times, and one of the ones that I had was a dud, so it's not like they're always fully charged perfectly, or maybe some of them are worn out. So I hope the one that I took home with me is not a dud, but I will probably throw it in my bag whenever I'm at a Disney park, just as a backup. Or like if, someone forgot their charger, like if Jesse forgets his charger, I can be like, use this. So that's the fuel rod, and those are all my pros and cons about it. Why can't they just do a one-way trip instead of round trip at Disneyland? Because that's less than 15 minutes if you're going from downtown Disney to Tomorrowland on the monorail station. That's a good question. I'm sure there's a valid answer for that. I just don't know what that would be. If Nikki wants to chime in, because I know she might be watching from work, she might know the answer to that. I'm sure there's some like regulation thing, or probably the most likely thing is they haven't trained enough people to operate the monorail, because until it can be fully operational, they're not going to spend the money training new monorail conductors or drivers, so operators. So yeah, I would just say I'm sure there's a valid reason, but the monorail has not come back. It would be kind of cool both at Walt Disney World and at Disneyland if they just ran it, just because it's such a beautiful sight to see the monorail going by. That's like part of the scenery, especially in Tomorrowland or like the front of the park. It'd just be so cool to see it again. They could just run it like test runs or whatever, but that would cost money, so who knows. Let's see. Oh, and another thing is, just a quick note, you need apps to breathe was my joke. Like the Disneyland app, you really do everything on the Disneyland app now. So have your phone charged, have some kind of backup charger, and also update your apps and make sure you're connected to the Disney parks Wi-Fi, which I haven't really had trouble with in the last few months, which is good, because in the past it was kind of, and then maybe check your data usage plan, because one day I was completely out of data usage from my Walt Disney World trip, because I do have limited data usage. So maybe check in with your data usage and how much you have left before you head to the parks. That's another thing. Or before you head anywhere, because I feel like everyone's doing the app now. And then I've said this before, but for those of you that haven't been in one of my live chats before, definitely take screenshots of all your tickets, because if anything goes wrong with the app or your phone, well, if your phone's dead, you can't show them, but maybe text it to all your friends you're there with or your family members that have smartphones. So that way you can show them the QR codes, the scan bar, and you have proof of your tickets, of your reservations, of your mobile order times, because you will use those. We used screenshots, like I was doing a live video, so Nikki, I texted her the screenshot of my mobile order time. So, if you need to prove you got those tickets and reservations and all that, I like screen grab everything like 3 times and put it in a folder labeled tickets in my phone, because I do not want to lose track of that. I've been in Knott's Berry Farm where my ticket just disappears off the app the day of my going into the tasting event or whatever, and I pulled those up and was able to get in. So it happens. Screenshot your tickets, you guys. Okay, so I think I'm almost there. I still have a lot of notes, but I know this has been going forever, and I'm gonna have a lot of timestamps to go through and put in for you guys. But I was really excited about this video because there's just all these things that I'm thinking about, having been back, having been to Avengers Campus. I really hope you guys can watch the vlog on Thursday morning. It's gonna be so much fun to watch and chat with you guys. It was a magical day. We got really lucky, blessed, whatever you want to call it, with getting that boarding group 17 and getting into the campus like before. We got in at like 8:30, I think, 8:15. So the park wasn't even open, and we were like in the Avengers Campus with like the Imagineers, and there was like vloggers everywhere, and it was like this really unique experience. So I'm excited to share it with you. I'm dying. Like I want to just launch it now, but I need to stay on my schedule. So it's Thursday. It'll be Thursday at 9. Let's see. Update those apps. I've said that before. Update the Disneyland app like the day that you go. Okay, cool. Okay. And just, I think a lot of you know this at this point, but if you're like really needing to shop, or you promised your kids you get them something before you leave the parks, just know that the stores, all the Disney Park stores at Disneyland Resort, they're open till 10 p.m. So the parks, the rides, and the character experiences and the food end at 9 p.m. And then you have an hour to get into the shops. And how it works at the Disneyland parks, if you don't know, is, I'm sure it's the same, I know it's the same at Walt Disney World, is if you're in that store by 10 p.m., you can shop and check out, just don't leave the store. So technically, I really think those stores don't actually shut the doors until 11 p.m. until the last guest has checked out. So that's, for us shoppers, that's really good news. We actually were in Avengers Campus so late on the opening day. We didn't even get to go usually Nikki and I go into the shops once everything closes, like before 10 p.m. Someone's, see, Disney Adventure Vlogs is saying, why can't they just do, oh, no. That's not a new, I already read that one. Maybe sometimes the timing, comment just popped up here. Oh, here we go. By the way, 15-minute indoor limit includes the ride time too. So, yeah. So the Pirates queue, someone said, here's my question. Do you have to buy the Web Slingers accessories for the ride? No, that's a great question. You absolutely do not. You guys, this ride, it is really cool and you'll experience it almost completely. I cut out some parts to keep it snappy, but I almost included the entire ride in the vlog, which is really exciting. So, and it is a little fuzzy at points because obviously I don't have a 3D filter, so that would be brilliant. I should put a 3D filter on my camera for the next time. I'm gonna totally do that. I'm sure there's a way to do that. So anyways, it is a little fuzzy, but it's so fun. It's so active. So it's like Midway Mania, if you haven't already heard from other vloggers. And instead of slinging balls, you're slinging webs. And it's complete motion sensor. And the technology is so cool. I'm going to scoot back so I can show you guys. So there's different techniques actually. So you can sling like this and it shoots out webs, or you can pull like this and you shoot a web and you pull that item towards you or off the wall or whatever. So it's really cool that whatever this motion sensor, it is designed to sense these intricate little motions, and it works, and it's so fun. So you can go as fast as you can go and hit as many spiders, try to aim. Honestly, I was one-handed because I was shooting and I was doing it one-handed, you'll see. And then Nikki's doing it. She's like, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And then you actually can pull. So here's the thing about the rides that is just a sad side effect for us Disneyland Resort people is we do get rushed through the indoor lines. So for example, Pirates, you're not inside for very long. So the line snakes outside, and they will shut it down. So once it gets too long, it's taking up too much of New Orleans Square, just real estate wise and for traffic flow. And then they shut it down for like 10, 20 minutes. The line dies down and they open it back up again. So it's kind of like a timing thing. And then you're not inside for very long. You're just outside in New Orleans Square and then inside the courtyard in front of the ride. So it's the same thing with Web Slingers. You get rushed through the indoor section of the line. So there's this moment where I'm like rushing by with the camera. So I'm sorry if there's too much motion. And I froze the image because we didn't even get a chance to read the diagram of how Web Slingers work. And my son's a gamer. He would have insisted on sitting by that sign and waiting to get on the ride to read how this ride works so you can get the highest score. So those indoor sections like Indiana Jones, you're kind of rushed through because of the time requirements, the 15-minute time requirement. So you don't really get all of the elements of the indoor part of the line that really is part of the experience here in California. So, that'll come back with time, but you don't have to buy the accessories. It is my understanding, I haven't read a lot about it or researched it because I haven't really gotten into the Marvel merchandise yet, but the Web Slingers, I'm under the impression that it does increase the chances of you getting a higher score. I don't know if it's because of the precision or the ride detects your web slinger and you get bonus points. So they've really gamified it and monetized it, because then there's the goggles too, which like your kid might feel cool that they're in Spider-Man 3D goggles that wrap around your face like you're in a Spider-Man suit versus just your standard 3D goggles. So they've really found a way. Here's the thing though. The merchandise wasn't really selling when it comes to web slingers because you're not very incentivized to buy a web slinger for your kids if you can't even get on the ride. So currently it is just so hard to get on this ride. I don't see a lot of people being like, oh, I'm going to gear up and then not get on the ride. So maybe if you got a boarding time, then you might be more likely to be like, let's go get web slingers. You can get them at kiosks outside of the land. We saw a kiosk with a bunch of web slingers across from like the wharf, the Monterey Wharf area, the Pacific Pier, I think. Is that what it's called? I'm blanking on what it's called, but it's like across from the Mexican restaurant there. adjacent to the Pixar Pier. There's that whole Northern California like Cannery Row section. There was kiosk there. There along the parade route. I didn't see the 3D goggles, so I don't know. I can't guarantee all the places that you'll be able to buy those. I didn't see a lot of those, but I'm sure they're out because I'm sure they have so many of them, and not many people getting on the ride, So yeah, that's a really good question. You don't have to buy Web Slingers. Midway Mania is our favorite gamified 3D ride, and this is very comparable to that. You're in a car like this. I forget what the official name is. It's in the video. It's like a web transport. I forget what they're calling it. But you're in this vehicle. It's covered and everything, and then it's open air like in front of you. And I think it can fit up to 4 people in your party. And it's just so cool because you're flinging your arms, and it's so gratifying. The web coming out and snatching things and hitting things and killing the spiders. Oh, and it's so cool because it goes through the entire Avengers campus. So you start off at Web Industries and you end up over at Avengers headquarters, and there's a Quinjet. Spoiler, sorry you guys, but it's in my video. It's in everybody's video, so sorry if someone's here is like, don't tell me about the Quinjet. But it's really cool because you go through the entire Avengers campus in the ride, which is really, really cool. I love that they did that. And I was very pleasantly surprised because the videos that they produced and released, however many months ago, I was the understanding that we're all in this kind of like theater type thing, like a stadium, and we're all shooting webs kind of like amongst each other, like a bigger like platform that you then shoot, and it's just like a video screen, like Star Tours, how like that, like you all sit. That's what I thought it was going to be, like we all sit in a Star Tours type theater setting, and then there's a screen and you're shooting spiders. This was so much cooler because you're on a track. Well, I don't know if it's trackless. I didn't see whether it was a track or trackless, but you're in a car and you're going through a dark ride. So it actually is a good ride. Not to like make you like, oh, am I ever gonna get on it? Like honestly, I don't know when I'm gonna get on it again. I'm thinking my kids want to go on it. They're kind of jealous that I went on it. Do you have to buy? Oh no, wait, sorry. Yes, I agree completely. So that's why I really prioritize getting a live video on opening day to you guys from Avengers Campus at night, because it is stunning. And I noticed early on that the Disney parks were really only releasing photographs and video of Avengers Campus at night. So I was like, clearly that's when you want to see it and take pictures. The nighttime is just spectacular. The lighting design team just knocked it out of the park. I'm always impressed with the lighting design at Disneyland Resort, like from the castle, the way it's lit up at night, to now Avengers Campus. The highlight is for sure the way that it's lit at night, and that's why I really hope they open up the land soon, later at night, because right now you really only have from 8:30 to 9 to even see it at night, so it's a really tricky thing to see it at night. I knew that it was going to be unique to have that live video. We had some technical snafus, we had some Wi-Fi problems. You guys, I started the live video and I'm mounting my camera on this like really hard to operate, quite frankly, rig that I love, but it's really touchy, it's very hard to balance. And while I'm putting my cell phone on this rig, I accidentally hit the go live button. So the beginning, if any of you were there live, like the beginning of it is just like me balancing it, it's spinning around. I'm like, sorry, I have a Pim particle fizz because like the park's closing and I had to pick up my drink. And then like Nikki runs to the bathroom to like dump out my particle fizz and save the beaker as a souvenir. And it's just like, it was insane. Honestly, I should have better planned it, or maybe I should have just shot the park at night for the vlog on Thursday, but I just couldn't resist. I always try to do too many things when I'm shooting, and sometimes I regret it because like then I'm spread too thin and no one thing is great. It's just like a lot of random stuff that I'm doing. But I am glad I got it. It was unique. It was crazy. It was stressful but fun. Anyways, so if you guys get a chance, I'll probably link that video too. And I agree, it's awesome at night. It's so beautiful. I hope they open it up till midnight soon. I would, in fact, I think I'm gonna wait either until discounts come back or the annual pass I have gossip about the annual pass. I wanted to save it for the end. There's only a few of us here, and you guys totally deserve to hear this gossip. It's a little higher ranking level than gossip. I can't tell you all the details, but I am going to share because I really appreciate you guys coming and chatting. And my first super chat from Disney Adventure Vlog. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Really cool. I wish I had an air horn. Vlog goals. Just make sure I went through. Yeah. Okay. So, this is the pass holder gossip. Yes, I have intel, you guys. I'm not going to disclose my source. It wasn't an official announcement, clearly, otherwise everyone will be vlogging right now. But there were a lot of suits at the event, and I can't tell you who this is, but it's someone that should know. Let's just say, here's what I think is going on. There's a conflict. The current CEO of Disney, Bob Chapek, I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, Bob Chapek, I think he wants to do a rewards type subscription model, like where it's a rewards plan, like you buy however many days, you get one free. As you know, annual pass holders are like, that's not an annual pass. Bring the annual pass holder program back. So I think there's a conflict between kind of him and him, like, you know, worrying about the bottom line and the stockholders and all that stuff, or the shareholders. So I have intel, and it's unofficial, so we're gonna call it gossip, but it's someone that should know that we could expect an announcement in the fall about the annual pass program, what it's going to look like, hopefully pricing, I don't know, some kind of announcement in the fall, and annual passes, but not until 2022, like early 2022. So for me, this is really good news because I was kind of crushed. I just assumed we'd never get it back. I thought it was going to be like a rewards program where I was going to have to like buy X number of days and just get like one day. And I was just like, that sounded really expensive. I honestly have no idea what the annual pass will look like, the pricing, the limitations, if you'll have to schedule your entry time, your days. I don't know answers to that. I just know that we were informally reassured that they are coming back, but not till 2022. So, you know, we're over almost 2 hours deep into this video. I don't know if anyone's gonna see that. So, you know, I might be overstepping. It hasn't been officially announced, but let's just say we talked to someone that if anyone's gonna know, the person we talked to would know. So that's the unofficial gossip that I have. Thanks for sticking in here and chatting with me. This has been so much fun. I've been looking forward to this video all week because I have so much I wanted to talk to you guys about. Just there's so much hustle and bustle around the new land, Avengers Campus, and you know, a lot of people getting geared up to come back to Disneyland Resort from out of state. So if there's anything like I didn't answer, like a question you have, you guys had such good questions, by the way, and really thank you for coming into the chat. But if you're watching the playback and you're like, I really want to know XYZ, I answer all of my comments. I reply to. I'm really committed to replying to every comment. So comment away, ask me your questions, and yeah, hit the like button if you guys enjoyed this. And thank you for coming by and hanging out with me. I am live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. for the foreseeable future, and I don't always maybe talk about Disney content, but I try to keep it always like super sparkly, super Cali. I focus on California travel, experiences, and of course Disney, because I'm a Disney fan and there's so much happening in California when it comes to Disney right now. So, but I do talk about other parks and attractions and events. So come on back and I'll talk to you on Thursday if you're here for the live premiere of our opening day of Avengers Campus vlog. I'm so excited. Thanks again, you guys. And I'll talk to you soon in Super Cali Land. Bye.